My name is Paulette Caswell. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I joined Mindful in January of 2020. Prior to that, I actually worked in child welfare and adoptions. I was actually a director of a nonprofit for 5 years in that area. We also provided counseling. With that, I took a year and actually lived overseas with my husband and came back and decided that I would do full-time clinical work. One of the things I knew in my previous career was that children were the most needed population for therapy, but also therapists that took medical insurance is very hard to find. For families, therapists that are quality, that know what they're doing. So often families search and there's such long wait lists. I know for me, I get contacted almost daily for clinical work for kids, and I don't have space for all of them. There is such a huge need. I choose to work with Mindful because I love that they manage my billing. They manage my credentialing with insurances. I also really appreciate the fact that the rates are higher than they would be if I was on my own. But to be just completely honest with you, I have zero desire to do billing and insurance pieces, but I like being able to take them. I think it's important for families that are trying to figure out how to manage budgets, and the kids need people that understand that they need support as well. One of my favorite parts about working in partnership with Mindful is the fact that they handle so much of the billing for us as therapists. I love our advanced MD portal to be able to document everything, keep stuff in there. It keeps me on track. I'm even able to kind of keep track of a system of, okay, I did this note. I do see up to 10 people in the day, so it can sometimes be, did I get that note done? So it really is helpful to be able to look and go, yep, that one's done, because I just check them off as I finish them. And that's helpful. The other piece that's really helpful is that they then do the billing. It's taken care of. They make sure my credentialing's up to date with each insurance company. If we're having issues with clients paying, they try their hardest to take care of it. Occasionally they come back to us and say, hey, could you say something to your client? And I have found when I send an email, most of the time clients respond pretty quickly. For example, the other day I had a client that credit card was declined, and I sent her an email and said, I don't know why. They said they reached out to you, but I just wanted to reach out. She's like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for that card to come in the mail forever. She was pretty cute, but it was really great to be able to bring that back to billing and say she'll get it as soon as she can. The other part that I love is sometimes with scheduling, if there's some complications or challenges, we're able to have them kind of help navigate that, especially if we're struggling with people calling during times when we're with patients all the time. They can kind of help support that. It's really great. One of the huge benefits for being in person is you get to talk to people live. And so you can go to the front desk and say, hey, can you help me navigate this piece, versus trying to reach out to them via the telephone or via chat. I find sometimes live interaction can be so much more effective. So those are some things that I have led with my partnership with Mindful. The space is clean. It's available. It's a solid place. My kids all think it's my personal office. And I'm like, no, I share it with other people because they want me to hang their art on the wall. But I love that it's all there. All right, so currently in my practice, I see children starting at the age of 5. I originally thought I didn't want to go below 10. There was such a need for younger. And actually, I really enjoyed the littles, as I call them. I go all the way up to 81 is my oldest client. I have a range. I go to the office 2 days a week. So I see clients from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. It is an exceptionally long day, and I would not recommend it for everybody. But for me, that works with my family situation. And so I see kids in the morning and I see kids in the afternoon through 7 o'clock. And so I fill the middle of my day with adults. And it's a good balance. I think kids can be a little bit more energy. If you're young and have a ton of energy, awesome. I am not as young as I once was. That being said, I love working with kids in person. I have to be honest with you, one of my favorite parts is when their face lights up when they see me turn that corner in the waiting room and they're like, oh, it's Paulette. And they just come running at me. I mean, that's a personal thing, right? But it's a lot of fun. We come into my office. I have a dollhouse that I have left up and it's available for everybody. I also have a sandbox in the room, and I know a couple of the rooms in our office in Montlake Terrace has sandboxes, which is available to all the therapists. We also have cubbies that we store our toys and we bring them out. I have a lot of fidget items. I have other therapeutic toys that we'll do. One of the things I love doing with the kids is crafts and watching them make stuff, but also watching them get frustrated and have them work through their frustrations as they're trying to make something. It's a really good assessment tool, but it's also something that they feel proud of when they're done. I like being able to give paperwork and be able to do some of the therapeutic modalities without it having to be so structured. One of my favorite things I do in the summer and spring is we practice breathing using bubbles, which you can't do on telehealth as easy. So we'll go outside and do bubbles, and I'll really make sure they work on their form of breathing in through their nose, out through their mouth, being sure that they're taking deep breaths, using their belly breathing and not their shoulders. We'll do it with balloons as well. And then I have them let it go and they can run around and chase their balloon. One of my favorite stories about that is I had a kid that I pulled the balloon out. It was pretty recently, and he didn't know how to blow up a balloon. He was almost 10, but had some delays. And the next week he came back and he goes, can we go practice the balloons? Can we go practice the balloons? And I'm sort of like, okay, I don't normally do that 2 weeks in a row. But within the week he had practiced and he could blow up the balloon. And it was just this incredible experience to watch him and the pride he had in the success he had done. He's a kid with anxiety, but that was such a huge success for him. I also will use chalk outside and we'll do like, how am I feeling today thing with the younger kids. And so one of the benefits of being in person is you can do true play therapy, have fun with the kids, but really make it something that they enjoy. That's one of the reasons I enjoy working with the littles, and I can have fun with some stuff we do in the office. I think one of the greatest challenges with working with kids sometimes is, am I going to make a difference? I hear that from a lot of providers. I have actually done clinical supervision for years, and a lot of people are like, I don't know, am I going to be able to manage it? One of the things that we know is that consistent presence for anybody in the life of the kid makes a big difference. One of the things I have found for each of the kids that I work with is that they just love the fact that they get alone time with an adult for an hour who cares about them. And if you can give them that, that is huge. And over time, you'll find ways to make a difference for them. With the younger ones, I struggled, like, how am I going to make a difference for them? And I have found practicing breathing stuff with them can make a difference. I've even done, crab walk races with them. And mind you, I'm going to give you my age. I am over 50. So watching me do crab walks is pretty funny, but the kids love it, by the way. And so being able to do that stuff can make such a difference. And they so need that adult presence. One of the things I have heard a lot from providers is, I don't want to deal with the parents. And that is a fair piece of what we do. However, you have to. One of the things we also know from research is that the best intervention, especially for the kids under 12, is to have the parents involved. Kids can't change their behavior without the adults helping them. 1 hour a week isn't enough to make that happen. And so we need mom and or dad to work with them to change, things in their environment, help them calm down, teach mom and dad how to do soothing activities, what to do. That's part of therapy as well. And so each of my sessions include the kid for at least 30 minutes by themselves. But I usually will bring mom or dad or both mom and dad. It doesn't really matter. Or mom and mom, whatever the session is, I will bring them in and we'll talk about what we talked about in the session and kind of what the goal is, and give them some tools and resources to be the best parent to their kid that they can be. it's important as well.